Hello, coming to you live. Welcome to the Stop Motion Shorts Festival for 2021. We're really excited if you can join us live. And did I mention we're live? We're live. I want to thank everybody for joining in. I want to thank our filmmakers from around the world. We have a great lineup of shorts for you today. We have films that have been submitted from around the world: Indonesia, Mexico, Korea, Iran, France, Germany, and of course here in the USA, Italy, Netherlands. I could keep throwing out places, but you get the idea. We have a nice interactive show lined up for you. During this show, we are going to have an opportunity to do real-time reviews of certain choice films that our jurors have found and decided they want to make a comment on. And to not delay anymore, let me introduce you guys to our jurors. Happy to have with us this year jurors for our festival, Ray Gilberti. Ray Gilberti is a miniature visual effects cinematographer, and his work has been seen in the Back to the Future series, or one of my favorites, Galaxy Quest, but he's also very well known for miniature cinematography and effects for films like The Nightmare Before Christmas, James and the Giant Peach, and Monkey Bone. We also have another juror, our Emmy Award-winning director of the Amazon animated series Danger and Eggs, Mike Owens. We have story artist Wendy Owens, and Wendy has a breadth of experience as a story artist and producer. She's worked on classics such as Animaniacs and Space Jam, and she's worked with the gamut of people, even including NASA. We have visual development of concept artist and visual development artist Vincent Prost. Vince is probably, some of his best work is known for Shape of Water, the It 2, and Pacific Rim. Just a little thing before we lead into the films today. If you get a chance to check out all of our lineup of films in this fest, go to our website, mostopmo.com. You will see all the submissions, whether they are in the run of show or not. You can click on the link to any of those films to learn more about that film or that filmmaker. Also, check out the newer things that are happening. We are launching season 2 of our podcast, and we're going to be leading it with an interview with Dino Stamatopoulos, who is most famously known for his stop motion series Moral Oral and the Oscar-nominated film Anomalisa. One last thing, at Most Stop Mo, we also have produced our first film last year, The Cookie Cutter. Excuse me, I should respectfully say it clearly. Last year, The Cookie Cutter was released, and it is in festivals now, and we're doing really well. We're in the festival circuit, so keep your eye open for the Cookie Cutter news and reviews, either on our Instagram or on our Facebook or on our LinkedIn. But enough of the housekeeping. Let's get into what we've come to see, and that is stop motion shorts. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy.
All right, Mo, how you feeling? Can you hold up the... Thank you. This is Professor Evil's Mega Robot, Scene 27, Take 1. Mark? Mark? It means you clap the... Oh, okay. Alright, so the premise of the scene is that Professor Evil just built you. And step forward, get into the center of the street here. So your goal is just to walk towards the camera in the most menacing way possible, alright? Great, thank you. And action. Cut. You are taking really graceful steps. No, it's very nice. But for this particular character, it might be better if you could do something a little more aggressive, or frightening. Something a little, yeah, a nice hard stomp like that. Yeah, perfect. All right, if you could do that while you're walking down this whole stretch, wonderful. Thank you. All right, let's try that again. Action. Cut. Mo, that seemed exactly the same as the first time. Hold on a second. I need to go grab the hot glue gun. Oh, and don't touch the set, please. It's unstable. Alright, so give me evil with your face. That's good. But maybe a little more, you know. Great, okay. Yeah, if you could do that, but while you're moving forward. No. Do you know what evil means? Hey, stop, Mo. I'm trying to fix the camera settings. Can you stand still for a second? No, I mean freeze. Thank you. I know it's hard. It's acting, Mo. It's not easy. Okay, this isn't working. Have you tried, like, is it offensive to say robotic? I'm sorry. I don't think you need to get your arms quite that involved. No, I don't think so. No. Okay. Last take for the day. Clean slate. Let's try something new. Alright? Let's pretend Professor Evil is over here, right? And you are just so excited to see him, you're gonna rush down the street. Do you think you could do that? Yeah? Great. Let's try it. Action. Cut. Mo, you know, it's not that intimidating when you trip over yourself, right? Do you want to just do a walk cycle and forget about all this plot nonsense? Okay, let me go throw all this junk out. Perfect. That's a wrap. That was so easy. Why didn't we do that earlier?
Ooh, look, he's an artist.
I wonder what he's drawing.
Hi, do you have a minute to talk? We're raising awareness about creating thumbtack-free zones. Here, have a flyer.
Oh, wow. Thanks, I love it so much.
Oh, I'm so glad you like it.
Should we do something?
If you're interested, we actually have a petition you can sign.
Yeah, this is really cool. I'll be sure to use it.
Sign the petition.
I live in an apartment building, but when I go out to get my newspaper, I know which one is mine because I'm the only one in the building who gets the paper. Between the ages of 12 to 18, almost every morning, I'd get up and deliver newspapers. I'd cut the plastic tie on the bundle, fold up the papers, and load them in my bag. My first route was in a small town, and the houses were far apart, so I delivered on my bike. Lots of times I'd have to go back because my throwing arm wasn't the most accurate. But then we moved to a bigger town and the houses were closer together. My route there was a walking route. Pretty much every house on those 8 blocks would get a paper on their front porch, and I was the guy that threw it there. Of course I had to know what I was giving to the people, so I got in the habit of reading the paper every morning. I'd have it read before anyone else in the house had woken up. I know that newspapers are online, and that way you don't have to kill trees, but I need that printed paper in the morning. If I don't get the paper, or if it's late, the whole day seems off kilter. Back when I was a teenager, I liked to get the papers delivered as early as possible. Sometimes I waited outside for the bundle to be dropped off on our corner. I had a hard time finding people to fill in for me, so at one point I even stopped going on family vacations so I could deliver papers every morning. When I went off to college, my brother, 2 of my sisters, and the family dog and cat inherited the paper route. It took a whole team to replace me. Now you need a car to deliver the paper. Not enough people get the print edition to make a walking or biking route work. It used to be that you understood that what you read in the daily paper was different from the gossip you might get from somebody at the grocery store, or the news that a professional hairstyle told you on TV. It takes a certain amount of fairness to make a walking paper route possible. I must be one of the last of the old-time paper boys, kind of like a dinosaur. You might want to interview me about it for the newspaper. Please include the interview in the print edition, and I'll be sure to read it.
arrived at the...
Doggy Beauty is back. You will earn awards and prizes. Did I mention your dog has to be beautiful too? Well, come and join us showing off your dog.
Oh, honey, you're too skinny. We gotta plump you up. Thor, eat your food. Eat more. Keep going. Eat your dinner. Eat your food. Thor.
Are you sick of being fat? You don't like who you are right now? You will get the hot body you want if you move your damn body. So what are you waiting for? Move it down! Move your damn body! Get off the couch!
Joe, those men are far too buff. Thor? Eat your dinner. Oh, you're so
Perfect. I've never seen this perfect shape of the body before. Bravo!
And we're back, or I'm back at least. Rough and Buff has caught the attention of one of our jurors, and right now we want to introduce our first of 4 segments that we're calling real-time reviews, and Rough and Buff is going to be reviewed live with the filmmaker. Our first juror is Ray Gilberti. And our first film is the one we just saw, which is called Rough and Buff, and it is by Miha. And I think we have everybody on the line. So if let's see if we can pull everyone up. There's Ray and there's me. Hi, guys.
Hello. Hi, David. Hi, me.
Hi, Ray. Hi, David.
Hi.
Thank you guys for so much for being a part of the fest. We love the short. I have a couple things to ask, but I'm going to default to our acclaimed and renowned juror here, Ray Gilberti. And I love to embarrass you in front of the crowd, Ray.
I'm totally embarrassed. Okay, thanks, David. We'll see you later.
Sure. Okay.
Me, I just want to let you know I really enjoyed the film, and I thought it was a great film. It was really funny in parts. I just absolutely loved it. I've got a couple of notes here, though, that, well, not though, but I want to go over with you a little bit. It was really interesting that the actual material that you used, it looked like a fiberfill for Thor. And what type of armature?
It was just wire armature. On top of a wire armature, it's just needle felting.
Really interesting. Yeah, I haven't seen that before. It's really great. And I really thought the lip sync was really excellent. Did a really good job with Grandma. And the dog was funny. It was great.
That's great.
Yeah, and the sets were really interesting. I went online and I looked at the way you actually went about doing it in some of your pre-production stuff. Like you have a digital composite of the set that looked fabulous. You have everything built, and it looks like the set really mimicked what you set out to do. So kudos to you for that, for sure.
That's good. Thank you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the props were great. I mean, the bones. You know, it was really funny looking at Thor doing the dumbbell and everything. I mean, it was
Yeah, I'm
just
glad it worked well.
yeah. um, so uh, uh, everything was really neat. I liked the controller. I liked all that stuff, and the audio effects were great. The size from Grandma, I think it was from Grandma, and especially the detail of the lip sync again. And it just came together as a real good experience and to really enjoy the totality of the film. I thought it was really good. And I know that a lot of the work went into the puppets too, like doing all the clothing and the fabrics and the dog. Like you said, I had no idea what that actually was on that, but it was really good. I think that one thing that I agree with some of the other jurors was the timing of some of this stuff. It was sometimes it went a little too fast, or maybe it wasn't cut right, or if you lingered a little bit or extended it out a little bit, I think there was be enough time to absorb what was happening in the film.
Okay.
And you know, for the different actions. And I think part of the problem was in the editing. I think because I noticed that if the dog were walking up to the bowl, he was he was walking towards the bowl, and he was going to eat. There was a time where he was eating, and then we saw the dog in the next shot behind the bowl.
Oh yeah.
So it's the continuity, like the editing and the continuity. So it's something to watch out for, I think, is the continuity. It just breaks it up a little bit. And I think that was part of the timing too, that made it that way. But the camera angles were excellent. I thought it was really nice taking the camera, bringing it down. So, you know, there are a lot of people that just don't do that. And they just have one shot or they change the camera. This time you brought the camera down to the level of the dog. And some of the moves were really incredible, like being on Grandma and tilting down. Simple moves, but it was very effective. You're on Grandma and you're tilting down to the bowl. I mean, it told the story right there without either two cuts or a wide shot. And you needed to be in that close to tell the story correctly. So kudos to that too. I think that was really good.
Hey, me, can I ask you something about the story real quick?
Sure.
So how did you come up with this idea of this dog deciding to go against its master to follow? What's that?
It's just like I got the idea from my actual dog. It was shown in the credits that she's like small head and a big body. It reminds me of like buff dog. So and you know, like when you go to Grandma's house, Grandma always gives you like a lot of food. And then that I just combined those stories together.
So is that the woman that is depicted in your short kind of like your grandma?
Yeah.
You were drawing inspiration from that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the things I agree with, like it's a well-told story, and some of the acting that you portrayed in it, I think worked really well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I just wanted to jump in on that. Bray, I know you had a couple more comments.
It's great. Let's keep going. I like to get that out. That was really good.
Yeah.
I remember you saying that. I think I went online and I looked up, and you had mentioned that it was an inspiration. So that's really good that other people understand that too. There was a couple. Let's go back to the cameras again, and there was another technique that you used in the camera was point of view. You had a point of view. There was a great shot where you're looking at the grandma. Let's see, what was this? It was, and the next cut was the point. The next cut was the point of view of the dog, I think, low angle of the dog. And then he's looking up. The dog is looking up at Grandma. So it's a low shot looking up at Grandma. And then the other point of view of Grandma looking down at the dog. Perfect. You know, to have that sense of point of view, it not only tells the story, it just makes it really interesting.
Oh,
Yeah, the
that's
reaction shot seems to be really important in order to convey where the audience it should be taken. So not like I agree, Ray,
Mhm.
you know, not only that are you giving it of the animal, but of the owner. So they're regarding each other and you're telling the audience, you're checking in with them and they're like, oh yeah, that's where we are.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
It's a symbiotic relationship there. Yeah, it's really great.
How long have you been doing animation, me?
You mean in general, or this
Sure.
film
Well, in general, let's start with
in
that.
general? Huh? I think it's been 4 years, 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is a student film that
Yeah, this
that you
is
come.
student film. I just
Uh-huh.
graduated this May, and yeah, I finished on May.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
uh,
Ray, you had a couple
okay.
more comments I'm interested in hearing. Yeah.
Oh, sure. You sure? No, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking. That's great. You know, it's really great to get that out. There was a shot. Let's see, another shot that with the bowl and the food, and Thor walks up to the bowl. We see the bowl at first, and we see his legs, and he comes
Oh,
walking up.
uh-huh.
And again, we're at that level, and I just really like those really low shots. So getting off of that, now I'm going to critique the actual lighting. I had a little bit of problem with all the shadows
Okay.
that you had in the film. They were a little harsh, and
Uh-huh.
I think, and they were a little, it takes you away from the overall look of the scene.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think it was some of the stuff was just a little overexposed.
Mm-hmm.
The way you get around some of that is maybe to use directional light, like you think about where the source is coming from,
Mm-hmm.
and separate the background from the foreground or from the character. So you're not having one light shining directly on the character and having this big shadow on the wall.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes there were double shadows where it looks like there were shadows from a different source, different light. Like if you can think of it like in the room, it looked bright enough where it could have been from a daylight, you know, coming in through a window or a
Yeah.
glass door. Like think about that as one source, and that would only give out one shadow. You can do that by putting, you know, some lights on the wall, and you don't have to have it like you could, you know, break it up a little bit and have some shadowing going on in the background, and then have a special light just on the character, for instance,
Okay.
with the same color temperature, you know, being, in the sense a little bit more blue because it's an outdoor scene. It doesn't have to be that. It could be indoor scene too, but then the lights would be a little warmer, right? But you can do the same thing. The same technique is by just try to get rid of some of the shadows. And sometimes you can separate the character from the background and aim the light in a slightly different direction so as not to shine that light directly on the wall or the
Okay.
background, right?
Uh-huh.
And sometimes you might want to use like a little diffusion, something to put on the light that will break up the light, as opposed to the light looked a little hard. It was probably like a bare bulb, or I don't know what you used, but it was a little too hard. Like if you soften that
Okay.
up a little bit, you get a
Yeah.
nicer look. And I think
Okay.
it'll make the overall film really visually pleasurable to see.
Okay.
You know,
How long did it take you to make this film, me?
It's been a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like in, you know, having lighting, did you have one stage or did you just shoot this on multiple stages? How did you have to go about your lighting and everything?
I shoot it in my garage, and
Uh-huh.
I borrowed all the lighting from school. So like I have like 2 lightings and
Okay.
try
Yep.
to match up with the mood. But my puppets are like all white, so like it's really hard to like
Right.
controlling the light stuff.
Right. The bounce coming off, especially a white dog is
Yeah.
probably to make it not glowing white. Yeah. Because there's still a lot of nice definition and focus in all the shots too, and it's well staged. Yeah.
It's well staged. You know, it's Yeah, it was good. It was really nice. Just think about where you're going to put those lights.
Okay, yeah.
Really think about where you're going to put those lights and how you're going to match from scene to scene. Some of it didn't quite match exactly right. There were some shots in the theater, I believe, and there was the judge in the foreground. This is a good situation here where you could have lit the background separately, a little bit darker, maybe. You're in the theater, and making the judge maybe just a little bit brighter, so your focus goes to the judge as opposed to like spotty light on the background. I did like your overhead lighting that you had in the theater, and then the lights went down to like a diffused look. So the overall lights went down and they were in the theater. So I really got that.
Okay.
But overall, I think it was a really, really great effort and a really good film.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you so much.
I mean, this is something that you want to stick with. I think you definitely have some great storytelling abilities visually and good comic timing.
That's great.
It's funny.
The
and
comic
fun to
timings are
watch.
good. Yeah, the comic timings were good.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. And the animation is really good. I thought really, really good. Did you shoot on like 2s or 3s or?
It's all on 2s.
On 2s. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Yeah, it looked great. Yeah.
Me, do you have any last words about your film? It's like seems like a personal project, or like where you're going to go forward with the film?
Yeah, I'm just making another just really short by myself right now. And yeah, the film is just my first film, so like everything is kind of clumsy way, but I'm really glad it's picked it up.
Well, thank you for submitting. It's great. Happy to have it part of the fest. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Cool.
Really good. Thank you, Me.
Thank you very much, Ray, and thank you, Me.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Ray. Before we go into our next block of shorts, I wanted to do a little lead-in for this next film that is coming up. This is by filmmaker Nia Zani. Now, Nia is one of the founders, members of Mo Stop Mo, and she is no longer with us in the States, and we miss her tremendously. But that hasn't stopped her from her drive as being a visual storyteller and an artist. And she's dynamic. She's got a lot of stuff out there. If you get a chance to link up to her film and all the films in the festival, definitely check it out. Nia, if you're watching, love you, miss you. In the meantime, enjoy this film by Nia Zani called Warmth.
There is an old man outside my house who looks just like Santa Claus. I walk past him every day as I throw my gaze away. Yet I cherish all the details, like his very gnarly toenails sticking out of his blanket, or the rat beneath his trinkets, who seems at ease with him, but disturbed by people walking by. What happened to the sweet pilgrim who goes unnoticed by passers-by? Do you want to be seen, or do you find the gazes too mean? All these questions piling up while I build my courage up. I started with a hi and a good day, sir. As the days gone by, our greetings, they recur. And then one day, you were gone. Days and days passed by. You were nowhere to be found. Was there no goodbye? Thoughts raced through my mind. You were old, not frail. Have you left everything behind? Towards a better place you set sail. There must be a time when you were happy and loved, when you had a home instead of a lonely cot, There must be a time when your company was desired, not manifestly ignored. But I got ahead of myself. One day, he returned and wasted no time and went ahead. What's your favorite food? Baked potato, he said. And baked potato he had.
Today, we're going to learn about the wonders of Cricket's Refer a Friend program. But who can be a friend? Let me tell you. A ninja spy who cannot fly, the IT guy who loves pad thai, taxi driver, deep sea diver, they can be a friend. Weird co-worker from New Yorker, a frat brother, toga lover, a nice mobster but no lobster, they can be a friend. Who can be your friend? Anyone can be your friend. You can be a friend. Anyone can talker and sleepwalker, cute guy on bus, not his dog, us, they can be a friend. Your barista, who's named Trista, a magician with precision, guy with chainsaw makes you say, ah, they can be a friend. Who can be your friend? Anyone can be your friend. You can be your friend. Anyone can be your friend. Anyone. It's so simple, right? And just remember, anyone can be a friend.
Look up to the sky, clouds float by and they smile at you. Now I'm here, you can close your eyes, I'll be waiting for you. I'll keep you from the pouring rain, I'll hold you tight, come what may. Just lay down your head on my shoulder, the stars shine for you. Tomorrow we might be bolder, just lay your head on my shoulder.
Welcome to the match we've all been waiting for. In this corner, a picky 22-year-old who still only eats chicken nuggets and well into adulthood. And the other corner, weighing in, is a chicken with a score to settle.
Ever seen, with the sides so delicately prepared, with an absolutely fine vintage on the side.
You are what you eat, so come on down to Pizza Shack for the all-new extra cheesy medium 5 for $5 deal. And if you tune in now, you'll get another 5 for $5 extra cheese on the side with cheese.
Did I just waste all that breath? Yes, I think I did. Well, I hope you could read my lips because I'm not going to repeat it. Appreciate your patience. So, welcome back. Thank you guys for joining us again. We are going to jump into our next part of our festival after the intermission. Things are going to get more PG-13. We kind of went through the PG block, so just keep aware. But right now, we're going to go into our real-time review. And our real-time review juror is going to be Emmy award-winning animation director Mike Owens of Danger and Eggs, an Amazon original series. And the short that we will be reviewing right now is Chicken by Sydney Mills. So let's see if we could get everyone up on screen here. There's Mike.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Mike. Hi,
Hello.
Sydney.
Hi, nice to meet y'all.
You as well.
Thanks for joining. Love the short, and outside of a couple comments that I'm going to interrupt Mike with, which Mike and I know each other well, so he's used to that. I'm going to let Mike, I'm going to kind of let you take it away.
All right. Hi, Sydney. I liked your film a lot from like first frame.
Thank you.
So that chicken design is so good. I have a thing. There's a giant chicken in my show, so I like chicken humor. But I want to hear more about you because I went through your website. I started looking at all the other stuff you've been doing. Super great, super design sense. But my favorite thing about your work is your awkward comic timing. Like there's a whole like animation is often so fast and zippy for their humor, and I love awkward timing. Just holding his a little extra longer, and so there's like I don't know, there's like a funny David Lynch absurdity to your work that I really enjoy. So I don't know, you've been making these films working in your garage, it says on your bio. So tell me a little bit about that experience, because the working alone can be frustrating, but you seem to be making it work to your advantage with the simplicity of design and storytelling and personal stories. So tell me a little bit about that.
This is also ironic because I actually recently just started my career in animation timing in the 2D world. So hope that timing pays off. But yeah, I mean, working alone, half of it was not by choice. I mean, with COVID,
Sure.
I just graduated college. I mean, this whole year was so bizarre that I kind of had no choice but to do this film remotely in my garage. I had to build my whole own studio, my whole own animation stand for this. So
Awesome.
Really just like the limitations of the world at the time, just using trash
Sure.
and ordering things from Amazon to try to make it work.
When the idea of limitations, how did that affect you creatively? Because the one thing I do like is, like, I love all the little packages in Chicken. Like, there's a lot to like about the film, but like the attention to like all the little design of them, like every frame,
The clock.
like yeah,
love
there's
the clock.
like the Velvet Underground pear picture, like all those little details are simple, obviously choices. So can you talk about how limitations inform your work?
Yeah, I think because I work alone too, just I have to have my own hand in every aspect. It's not somebody else
Sure.
making the clock or the poster. So it's just things that I like that I'm putting in the film. Like I have one of those clocks. I like the Velvet Underground. So every time I'm thinking like, oh, I want a poster for the background, I just, what do
Right.
I like? And I do it.
Yeah, it's like the personal stuff is there. Like just the story of habits of eating chicken tenders or whatever as a thing is such a funny concept in general. And I didn't read the description. I never read descriptions before I watch film because I always like to get first impression. And I mean, it starts with the voiceover talking about that, and like so it wasn't like a big connection to it, but I didn't care because it was so absurdly entertaining to be in that chicken world. Loved like the void of the boxing ring. There's just so much stuff that was entertaining. Like even if I didn't fully get the chicken stuff, like the chicken tender thing, didn't care because it was so much fun to be in. But now that I know that, it made it like the second and third watch better, which is always a good thing for me. I can watch that awkward reaction take between the boy and the chicken forever. So I appreciate how long you took to let that
Thank
awkwardness play out, because it could have came and went really quickly, and to just let it be a little bit painful made it extra funny for me.
I'm an awkward
Yeah,
person, so it came naturally.
Beautiful.
So-
Yeah,
so-
I love it.
So you're probably accustomed to like having that pause exist. It sounds like you're drawing upon some real life experiences with like letting that rest, that moment of rest. It's not only good for the comic timing, but for the audience. It's just like give them a chance to like absorb it. With everything moving so fast, it's nice to see that pacing. I totally agree.
Thank you. Thank you.
I did want to ask you, because you're talking about making little things. How did you go about making your main puppets for this? The chicken and the two different colored chickens, especially. Is just like you really kind of, you might have just wanted to use the one chicken, but you decided to make a second chicken just to represent. It's kind of
I just thought the
sadistic of
chickens
you.
were fun.
I just love
Okay.
I just thought chickens as a concept was so fun. And I was watching The Sopranos during COVID, and I don't know, I was just thinking about Tony Soprano as a character inspiration. And then my friend gave me I don't know, just kind of built little husky. And my friend gave me the fabulous idea of using a towel to kind of simulate little feathers, because I was originally thinking, oh, wool felting, but I wanted that and the individual feather look, because I love how Wes Anderson really plays into the fur boiling and just really taking advantage of those like homemade looking tactics, because I knew there'd be mistakes, so I figured might as well just play that up, and that will
Lean
kind of
into
hide
it.
my mistakes.
That's funny because
animating
the moving towel text feather check was like it made that hold work, like it made it live, it made it alive, and it was a good call. Like, and let me ask you this question of like how much thought went into the scale size of the chicken compared to the college student?
No thought. I just knew I wanted I knew I needed the chicken to be taller and bigger, but the planning for this was really like, I'm just gonna, like, the chicken is downstairs and I'm making the girl, so I'm just gonna make it this tall and guess that this turns out okay.
Brilliant. Okay, so you just went with your instincts across the board.
Yeah, this was my
Love it.
thesis film, so I was kind of on a time limit.
Yeah.
Had to really get going because I chose to do a lot of sets and a lot of characters. So
For sure.
yeah, just trying to speed through and get through a deadline.
Yeah, well, good choices though. I mean, nothing looks rushed to me. Like it's
Thank you.
Like your choices are really great. Color palettes are really good. I don't know. They're just, I'm gushing a little bit, but I just like the simplicity of it, and should be pretty proud of that film. So because I'm looking at some of your other work like that, The Fly with the red eyes, those buttons, brilliant choice for those eyes.
Thank you.
But I just there's a sense of design and simplicity that I really appreciate in your work, and doing it alone in your garage or not, that just makes it more impressive, honestly.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
You had some nice control of lighting in certain shots for a garage setup, and it sounds like you're kind of leaning towards 2D animation, but you really seem to get a good handle on lighting. I don't know if I'm assuming about 2D animation, but it's I don't know, like, what do you think about lighting, like doing your lighting, and like especially for the boxing match, obviously it's pretty nice.
Well, I had one light to use, so I figured I should put it up there. I had to just order lights off of Amazon, so I was just trying to work with what I had, and I was like, well, this is the light, this is as bright as it is, I'm gonna put it up here to kind of dilute it a little bit. I would just use paper as reflectors all around to try to balance that out, but I also thought, that gave it such a dramatic feel.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, it ended up working in your favor for that. I mean, even bouncing light can be tricky, but it's like how it falls into that complete blackness is really nice.
Thank you.
And you did that subtle, like, this thing going on. There's like a freak out moment that where
the dolly zoom.
The ropes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Did you do that
Thank
on
you.
camera?
Was
that done in frame by frame, or you just did that in post?
Yeah, I tried to do it in post and make it work, because doing that in camera would have been, whoa.
Uh-huh.
But I'm glad you thought maybe I did.
Yeah, it was pretty seamless compositing, so I wouldn't.
But now you've admitted to being a fraud, so thank you.
Thank you.
No, I'm just. No,
it was you
really,
fell for it.
Done. I did. You got me.
So what's next for you?
Well, currently I'm working in 2D, but my love for 3D has never wavered, and I really want to make another stop motion short in probably the next year or two.
Yeah. So you kept your setup in the garage, just going to keep rolling with it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I recently moved to LA, but I'm home for holidays, and I am trying to figure out a way that I built this stop motion stand. I'm like, maybe I can drive it across the country and try to set up my new spot,
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Sydney, for joining us, and thanks for submitting your short. It's awesome, and we're excited to be part of this year's fest.
Well, thanks for
Thank you. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, great.
Thanks for entertaining me with your buff giant chicken.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Sydney. Mike, I'm going to keep you on the line because you were working on a project just this past year, kind of a COVID project, I guess. It started off that way. It started in 2020, and you
Yeah.
were working with Danny Weinkauf, who is more famously known as one of the band members of They Might Be Giants, but he is also a musician for children's music. I think we have Danny on here. Maybe we could get him to join in because I want to talk about the next short we're going to see before the intermission, which is called Words. So is Danny on the line here? Let's see. Maybe not. Well, Mike, you were one of the animation directors of this music video. Tell me a little bit about this process, especially working during COVID. A lot of people just working from their homes, and just speak more to that. Like how it came into your lap and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. So my friend Eric Keidler of EG Design. So Eric and Gretchen have a small studio here in Minneapolis, and we've been trying to find a reason to work together. He's one of the few character animators. There's a few characters in town, but he's independent character animator in town.
And you're in town, by the way, is St. Paul, Minnesota.
St. Paul, Minnesota. Yeah. So I'm in the parasitic twin of Minneapolis.
Is it the parasite or the one being fed off of? I guess it's that important.
I'll leave that up to you. Come visit and decide for yourself. Yeah, so he had this project, this music video project, and it was a potential opportunity to work together. And there was something about the content of the film and the song that was about people coming together, and during COVID, finding projects for people to animate on, to sort of keep their brains active. And just have something to do creatively. So I proposed to Eric, because it was going to be him and I doing it, and I proposed to Eric and Danny that they're animators, independent animators all over the place, from Mexico, Latin America, Amsterdam, India, all these people that we've met in our careers along the way, that if we reached out to them, to everyone take a scene so it becomes a true collaborative, and almost sort of test this remote working challenge of creating something that feels unified together. And then it also to carry the theme of the song further, everyone had the option for their payment for the film to be donated to a charity of their choice. So it just became sort of like this, while we're all completely separated, can we do something together? And it worked out. It was sort of a long shot to pull that many people together, short notice, not a gigantic budget, but having Danny's music was a big influence for everybody. So yeah, it was how can we do stuff together? There you go, 25 animators, 6 countries. We here at Romo got to animate a couple, and it was that was it. It was bringing people together during an isolated time to make something useful, I don't know, fun.
So when there's obstacles in terms of whether it's animation or feedback on notes and where you have to refine things, did you find that COVID and working remotely, I mean, it's kind of a testing of an animation pipeline and workflow.
Sure.
Did you find, what were you able to harvest some good information from this study?
Well, I didn't think about it exactly like that, but no, strangely enough, animation has survived really well through this remote working and sort of COVID thing. And it's sort of proven that you don't have to be in one place to be in this career. And I've worked only remotely for the past couple of years with, all over the place, LA, and with just this project all over the place, different countries. I don't know, there's...
like even just kind of as a side, even while you were working on Danger and Eggs, that you pretty much stayed for the most part in St. Paul working on it with a team.
Yeah,
there.
that was an even bigger test, and we even have to do it because there is no COVID.
Right.
But we had a story team here, we had design and writing in LA, we had animation in South Korea, we had voices all over the country. So being a character animator not based in LA, I've been pretty used to remote working, so it wasn't a big leap for me, but technology has made it very, very possible to be in this business, in this career, in this art form without having to be centralized in one location, and that's encouraging.
Cool. Well, it doesn't look like we have Danny on for some reason or another, but
he's got a big family, I think. So I think it's still Thanksgiving at his house.
Yeah, I mean, it's the tryptophan has kicked in, so
Right,
maybe he's
right.
just not going to make it. Okay, well, Mike, thanks for joining us here
Sure,
and
thanks
being
for
a
having me.
juror on the festival.
Yep.
It's great to have your expert opinion. We're going to jump into words, and then after that, we're going to take a brief intermission. So, without further ado, here is Danny Weinkauf's music video Words.
Advocate, we can help each other grow now. Educate, give them strength with the know-how. Cultivate brotherhood, we can show how. Demonstrate, everyone will be woke now. Harmony, can we all try to sing it? Dignity and respect, we can bring it. Prosperity, everyone can cha-ching it. Unity, all together we can swing it. Understanding, grace, and kindness, words of comfort, every matter. Words have power, words have meaning, words of justice, peace, and healing. Words unite us one another, words can help us love each other. Words have power, words have meaning, words of justice, peace, and healing. Words unite us one another, words can help us love each other. Advocate, we can help each other grow now. Educate, give them strength with the know-how. Cultivate brotherhood, we can show how. Demonstrate, everyone will be woke now. Understanding, grace, and kindness, words of comfort, every reminder. Words have power, words have meaning, words of justice, peace, and healing. Words unite us one another, words can help us love each other. Words have power, words have meaning, words of justice, peace, and healing. Words unite us one another, words can help us love each other.
I hope you got some things done during that brief intermission. Without further ado, we're going to go right into Act 2 of our festival. And like I mentioned a little bit earlier, Act 2 is going to be more on the PG-13 side of things. So any of you parents with kids or any of you guys who just have more fragile sensibilities, maybe think about that before jumping into Act 2. There's nothing that bad, actually, but just keep it in mind. So without any further ado, we're going to lead right in with Feast.
Gather round, my children's children. I've got sordid tales to tell. Listen to my yarn again. Like most, it won't end well. A tale of blood and greed, a town most profligate. Sweet younglings, please take heed, lest
Yes, we know, Nana. We've heard the tales before. Don't be so greedy.
lest your head end up on someone's dinner plate.
Dinner? Late?
Yes, this tale I haven't told you yet. It's high time I told you younglings about where we came from, why we fled our little old homestead and made ourselves a new life here in the middle of nowhere. Back in old Chowtown, where our people come from, the saying was, the bigger, the better.
The biggest is the best. No, the biggest is the best.
The feast of fortune is nigh. Who eats the most takes the prize.
The biggest is the best.
The ruler of Chowtown is the one who can scarf the most down.
The biggest is the best.
Who eats the most rules the rest, but you gotta pass the test. You know the biggest is the best, because the biggest is the best. Tell me why in Chowtown is the mayor the one who shoves the most food down? Can we settle this by a policy or prophecy or democracy?
No way, not a chance, Cassie June. We gotta make dinner to decide the winner.
Tell me why in Chowtown is the mayor the one who shoves the most food down? Can we settle this by a policy or prophecy or democracy?
Is the best.
Because the biggest is the best. The biggest is the best. You know the biggest out of nowhere, in the middle of all the chewing and chomping, a stranger from afar, near starved, chose to drop in. The old soon-to-be ex-mayor Omni read back over the bylaws.
One cannot turn a hungry soul away from a feast without due cause.
We escaped the bloody Armageddon and were safe for just a minute. But there's one big thing I didn't reckon. The monster, you see, was already within us.
We can't let ourselves be beaten. We've gotta eat or we'll get eaten. Slay the beast with teeth and tongue. Go forth and kill, the night is young. We can't let ourselves be beaten. We gotta eat or we'll get eaten. Slay the beast with teeth and tongue. Go forth and kill, the night is young.
The way we've been doing things is wrong. Toms weren't made to eat someone. Corn and grits, that was one thing. Now you want to eat human beings.
We can't let ourselves be beaten. We gotta eat or we'll get eaten. Slay the beast with teeth and tongue. Go forth and kill, the night is young.
Straight up, I won't eat a stranger. Even if just out the danger, we can be better than that. Once you eat people, you can't go back.
We gotta eat or we'll get eaten. Slay the beast with teeth and tongue. Go forth and kill, the night is young. We can't let ourselves be beaten. We gotta eat or we'll get eaten. Slay the beast with teeth and tongue. Go forth and kill, the night is young.
We gotta feast.
We'd consumed the monster, devoured its flesh, and then we picked up the pieces, cleaned up the waste. I'd hoped dear old Chowtown could start afresh, but some of us had acquired an unfortunate taste. Although a new dawn and day was coming, as it turned out, we'd learned exactly nothing. Looks like we're in need of a new mayor. Why not settle this with a vote or a debate or... Remember, younglings, always take heed, lest you be consumed by someone else's greed. Take your Nana's words for granted, and you might find yourself supplanted by a voracious young upstart with dark cravings in their heart. Now, who's ready for supper?
Ew, gross.
It will be alright. Just wait until these tears dry. Wait until these tears dry. It will be alright. Just wait until these tears dry. Wait until
forget to shave your hair. Still you keep looking everywhere for who I am. I told you one day I'd fix everything, and I confront you. Do you feel the tension when I stand right before you? No. It will be alright. Just wait until these years start. Wait until these years start. It will be alright. Just wait until these years start. Wait until these years start. It will be alright. Just wait until these years start. Wait until these years start. It will be alright. Just wait until these years start. Wait until these years start. I'll let you know how much I cried while I tried to reach your world. All this while things seem so cold. There was so much dark in my light. Room in my house where I'll fix everything, and I think I did now. Tell me, can you see me now? On the tea, I cried for you. It will be alright. Just wait until these years start. Wait until these years start. It will be alright. Just wait until these tears start. Wait until these tears start.
Hey, Dana, found anything yet? Over.
Nothing yet. Have you? Over.
Not a damn thing. Look, don't stay out there too much longer. Over.
There's something I want to check out. I'll see you soon. Over and out.
Dana, I heard gunshots. Are you okay? Over.
Awesome. I'll see you soon. Oh, if you're anywhere near camera 2, can you grab the card for me? Over.
Time again for a real-time review. This time I'm excited to bring forth one of our jurors, Wendy Owens. Wendy Owens is a story artist and producer, and Wendy has such an interesting and eclectic career. She cut her teeth working on Animaniacs and films like Space Jam, and she has such a breadth of experience in visual storytelling. One of the things that she has done is worked with NASA, and she's told a lot of stories from a scientific lens. She's worked with documentary and animation across the gamut. Visual story artist Wendy Owens, are you there?
I am. Hello.
Hey, Wendy, thanks for joining us. And of course, we are going to be talking about the film that we just saw, Posted No Hunting. Elisa Stern, is that correct?
That's it. Hello.
Thank you very much for joining us. I got to say, like, this is a perfect example of visual storytelling, and I really appreciate you being a part of the fest, and kudos on such a great film.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And from here, I'd like to kind of pick Wendy's brain. She chose this film as one that she really wanted to speak about. So, Wendy?
Well, okay, speak about that's a little extending my reality a little because I looked into your work and discovered you are the Dr. Puppet. And I love that so much. And I am so happy to meet you. And I loved your film. I mean, the like buildup of the story and how sound was like the most important part of it. You know, what the audience didn't see made it so creepy.
That's because I wouldn't have been able to animate those parts. I'm very thrifty.
Well, it was just brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually wondering about that because it was very key animation, kind of like a little bit earlier in the festival, there was Stop Mo, and it's just like good audio, story driven. And the whole time it's like, I'm not thinking about what is or what isn't from an audience perspective. It's just well told.
Thank you. Well, it might show you might have picked up on something that so my creative partner Scott, who co-wrote the story with me, we were working on a longer stop motion film, like a very intense one. And it was in the early stages. I had an animatic and I was starting to make the set and coming to the realization that I couldn't make it on my own in my apartment. I didn't have the space. So this film grew out of a conversation we had about like, what if we made a smaller film? And then we made this, I mean, we came up with the idea in like 10 minutes. And basically, it was the only way that I could make a film with my current living situation. So it had to be small, it had to be contained, one set, locked off camera, only way I could make it. And that's where it came from.
Brilliant. Is that one of the puppets that you have right there?
Yeah, I have two of them.
Right you have two of them. Cool. So tell me more, because the eyes that were glowing on the deer, what is going on with that? How did you do that?
Yeah, that was I'm so glad you picked up on that. So I mean, if you watch trail cam night footage, the deers and most animals, they have terrifying eyes. So that was part of that was an important part of it to try to capture that. And it was really hard. Scott helped me do some like R&D and I think it was his idea actually to get the like reflective tape, like the same stuff that's on like a construction worker. So I had a vest and I just cut the tape off of it. And but the eyes themselves are actually glass, so they're glass cabochons, and then I glued the reflective tape behind it, and then the light just bounces off and it glows. But I mean, I'll be honest, it wasn't as glowy as I wanted, so I did also rotoscope them. So it's half and half to get like that real glow. And same on the monster with the bigger cabochon. That was really important. And even her eyes, like human eyes,
What's a
don't glow like that.
cabochon?
It's a like a half circle of glass. Use it in jewelry making.
Okay.
Cabochon.
Good to
Her
know.
eyes are also cabochons, but they don't have the reflective material. But they do. Her pupils do follow you because of the shape of the glass.
Oh wow, that is
Oh,
so creepy.
wow.
I love it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So did you spend a lot of time in the quarantine watching trail cams at night?
Yeah, no, that's exactly where the idea for the film came from. That said Scott and I had written this much longer, more like real movie, like one where the camera moves. So that wasn't a found footage film. But during quarantine, especially at the beginning of it, I found a lot of comfort in watching animal cams, and I was doing that a lot. I was watching like a lot of like eagle cams and bird nests and stuff, and the Cornell YouTube channel, they have a lot of bird cams, and that's where it came from. That Scott and I were talking, and I was like, it'd be cool to just make a film that takes place in front of an animal cam, because then you don't have to worry about picking different shots. And that's the conversation that led to this film. And really, it took about 10 minutes for us to come up with it from start to end.
Awesome.
Pretty amazing.
Awesome. I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
Like all of your work. It's just, I cannot believe how prolific you are. Like,
well, with Dr. Puppet stuff, it was the web series that I made. I finished the last episode of that 3 years ago now, which is pretty crazy. That was more of a team effort. So there was, I didn't animate that mostly myself. There were 2 other animators. This was just me and Scott though, but it's a much smaller project than Dr. Puppet was.
yeah, this stuff is beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really great. You got any other plans now for something? Or are you just gonna enjoy this? You got something else in the work? What's going on?
Yeah, well, I finished this in June, so kind of took the summer off and just kind of thought about what the next film would be. And Scott and I had a few ideas on like the back burner. We still have that bigger film that we might return to one day, but we actually came up with another horror short that is also very contained, but isn't a found footage film. So that's going to be the next one. So maybe you'll see it next year. Yeah, just in the early stages of that, but I like animating in the winter because you're stuck inside anyway, so I'll probably make that this winter.
Cool. I can't
It
wait.
seems like you lean towards horror, suspense, and
lately.
Lately, that's why is that?
Yeah. Dr. Puppet was not it was not horror or suspense. It was very adorable. And previously I worked in preschool television, but so I've always all my work has always been kind of adorable, but lately, like during the pandemic, I got into horror. I felt like a lot of people have told me the same thing. They just found comfort in watching horrible things play out in a fictional world that isn't ours. So I definitely also watch a lot of horror, and I think I just wanted to also just like pull away from my Dr. Puppet past and try to do some scarier stuff. So much to the chagrin of a lot of the Dr. Puppet audience, but here I am. It's fun. I like it. I like making stuff that doesn't get programmed into the kids block.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so
Some
much.
great stuff. Well, thanks a lot for joining us, Alyssa. And it's just, is it Alyssa or Elisa? I'm sorry.
Elisa. It's okay.
Elisa.
Everyone
Thank
gets
you
it
very
wrong.
much for joining us and contributing such a great work. I'm
you.
excited to see where it goes. I've seen a lot of good things about it online. So continued luck
Thank
to
you.
you.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
And Wendy,
Bye.
thank you so much for your perspective on that. So appreciate you. We're about to enter into our final block of films. So without any further delay, we're going to go right into bedtime stories.
What are we doing here, Daniel?
What you asked me to.
Aww. The summer Simon and Sarah were here on vacation. Hmm?
It was the summer of 2016. We were at the beach and you were looking at the kites. You couldn't stop talking about them. I didn't understand until you confessed that you'd never flown one. The next day I surprised you with a kite I bought at Rite Aid. You were so excited, like a little girl. I remember the sunset, the laughter, the wind, the shadows, and your idea to attach a GoPro and make your own drone.
It never worked. Oh, Daniel, do I like red?
For what?
What do I like it for?
For the details.
Sounds like me. What are all these names?
While you were flying the kite, you felt sick and vomited. That night, we found out you were pregnant.
That pic was lame.
We started talking about names and we wrote them down on pink and blue sheets of paper.
What name did we choose? Alice!
Yep.
Daniel? Alice.
I was terrified. But looking at you, I knew. Okay, I'm gonna go make some tea.
What happens next? Oh, just a small cup for me, thanks.
Me too.
What happens next, Alice?
You're my mom. The best mom in the world.
Did I make you happy?
You made us very, very happy.
What happens next?
That same day, you start painting the walls of our studio with Alice in Wonderland's characters. And together we build baby furniture like props from the movie.
I really like my room, Mom. Thank you.
Oh no. Daniel, when do I start forgetting things?
That's another story, Hannah. Another time. It's late. It's time to sleep.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Oh. Thank you, dear. That was a wonderful bedtime story.
My favorite. Good night, sweetie.
Daniel, would you tell me a bedtime story?
I sought after a type of spiritual cleanse and left poisoned. I shook hands and made amends. No one listened. Now that the fever of self-doubt has released its grip, I have little to say, but no, I will not do it. No, you cannot make me. No, I will not do it. No, you cannot make me. I spent months staring at the ceiling. I took every thought captive, hypothesized every outcome, every conversation. Then you entered the room and I said, no, I will not do it. No, you cannot make me. No, I will not do it. No, you cannot make me. No, I will not do it. No, you cannot make me. No, I will not do it. No, you cannot make me. No, I will not do it. No, you cannot make me. No, I will not do it. No, you cannot make me. No, I will not do it. No, you cannot make me. No.
Yeah?
Hey, you dusthead.
Yeah, man, come in.
Back off, kid. Hey, I'm in a hurry. Let's make this quick, yeah?
Sure thing, friend. Take a look at what I got in stock.
Oh, I'm sorry, guy. Starting to lose track of the faceless grunts being sent to me.
Oh, I'm Bo. I have this injury from my time on a federal squad. How much would 30,000 quills get me?
30,000 quills? Quite a lot. I've got hallmarks, dusties, scatter, muscle, fat cats. I even got this little man. I should have recognized the ring instantly. So what? That guy's just chum? Then you come in when my guard's down?
No, this isn't anything.
Damn, I'm sorry. That guy must have had me extra paranoid. So you said you spend time on a federal squad? You must have used a XB phase cannon then, huh? With manual projectiles?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you know. You seem like an honest guy. So, here. I'll let you in on a little something. I know you ain't really injured.
Wait, what? Yeah, I am.
Bullshit! I bet your other arm works fine.
Well, no, look, I took a hit when I was in the field. I don't really want to talk about it.
I wonder what you really wanted for. Maybe squad work took an emotional toll? Or maybe you think you could sneak it into some nice little lady's drink? Come on, man. You lifted your arm out of the sling to put the ring back on.
Okay, fine. My arm is not broken.
Yeah, so, those XB phase cannons are pretty big miniguns, right? Wouldn't even sit on a coffee table, you know?
Right, yeah. A few meters, I'd say.
Yeah? It's a lot smaller in person.
This is a friend's uniform. I thought it looked better.
What?
Okay, well, this used to be my dad's.
Why are you just lying to me now?
Wait, what? I don't know,
Dude, this is the third time. It doesn't matter how convincing that was. Nasty little bastard.
How did I get here?
You burnt out, son. I'll show you the exit.
Okay. Thanks.
Well, feel free to drop by if you find yourself doing this again, Bo.
Oh, you must have me mistaken. I'm Tucker.
Well, welcome back. That is the last film of our festival before we have one music video to go, but we're going to be using this film for our final real-time review. Our juror that we are going to be ending this film with, Old Boys Apples, is Vincent Prost. Vince, I've known for a while, and he's a great, I will arguably say that he is probably one of the best artists I have ever met in my life. He is a concept artist and a visual development artist, and he's worked on films such as The Shape of Water, It 2, Pacific Rim. He's also worked on Magic the Gathering cards. He's very in tune to visual development. I don't know what more to say because Vince kind of just blows me away. So why don't we just go to Vince? Vince, are you there? I think you're muted, Vince. Let's unmute you. Now I don't feel so bad that I was the one muted. Only
Can you hear
now
me
we're
okay.
We are comrades in mute. And joining us with his film Old Boys Apples is Brad Hawk.
Hey, Brad.
Brad, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, there's a little stutter
not
there.
breaking up.
There we go. How's it going?
I'm back. It's going. It's good. It's the sun just started coming down, and as you can see, it's a little dark in here. But happy to be here with you, David and Vince.
Yeah, thanks for being a part of the fest.
Brad, this was the best, to me, the best animated short of the entire show. In my opinion, not to walk on anybody else, but stylistically and artistically and visually, it was stunning. Just stunning. The lighting is fucking spot on. The characters were super cool and engaging, and I loved how different their silhouettes were comparative to each other, and that you knew who everybody was. That skull apple tree thing in the beginning, it's like when it first starts coming towards you, you don't really know what it is, but it gets closer and closer, and you're like, wow, that's a skull. And then it's closer and closer. Oh, wow, that's an apple tree with a bunch of weird, creepy apples on it. And then that cool little old boy. So old boy is the dog, correct?
Yeah. Well, actually, Old Boy's the devil.
Okay, so who's devil? Because I saw at the end, Old Boy's apples, and it said something about devil underneath it. What's that tag?
It's a Devil Duddle, which was originally what this whole thing was before I had a name for it. My partner and I just called it Devil Duddle, and that was going to be like a show pitch concept originally, but now after doing this, I don't know. We'll see.
Why? I think it'd make a great show.
I mean, it's definitely in the lineup of things bringing to the table in those kind of pitch situations. But I spent 3 years working on it, and I feel like I kind of need a break from those characters for a little bit. But
yeah, I hear you.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that means a lot.
Well, I went to
say
your website and everything, and your 2D art style is freaking phenomenal too, dude. I mean, you could do a comic series, you could do an animated show, you could do whatever with that style because it's just so unique and so it's I love it, and it's I'm really all about like seeing things that I haven't seen before, and there's some hints of what you did that remind me of other things, but you bring it to the table in a completely unique and original way. I mean, I felt a lot of Wes Anderson kind of feeling in there and stuff because of the weirdness of it and everything. The only criticism I would have for it at all, and this really is not really part of your part, but it was the sound. A lot of times it felt like the sound wasn't queued up. It just felt like it was popping in some places, like when they would start making the noises, and I kind of like that low voice, that humming thing that was going on. But I have to say, I've watched this like 4 or 5 times now, and one of the times I watched it with the Willy Wonka song "Pure Imagination." And my fuck, it so played so well. It was so weird because when he picked up the flute and everything, it all kind of had that feel to it and stuff, and it just had this. It had a completely different feel to it, but it's almost like I understood the story a little bit more, because it took away the audio reaction to things, and it let me put the reaction into where the animation was telling me where the action was, as opposed to the audio, because a lot of times we balance our visual input to what our audio input is and try to make sense of the two things working together. But as soon as I cut that part out, it's like it made so much more sense. The whole story itself made so much more sense. So I'm not saying that you need to get rid of it or anything, but I am saying that you might want to redub that a bit, to make it so it's more hitting the tones that the animation are hitting, because the animation is hitting these keynotes, and there's these keyframes that are just gorgeous. Your keyframes are beautiful, dude. That scene where they're standing around the pot and they're doing this thing like this, I was just like, man, that devil dude is so cool. I want that guy in a t-shirt. He's just so cool. And I want him moving like that on a t-shirt, It'd be like if we could get a GIF on a shirt.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, it'd be just so cool, dude. So anyways, I love the guys. I love the materials you use. Your backgrounds were beautiful, and they told the story well. I loved the black of night in the back and focusing on your characters and on your light, and the mood changes with the light, and everything just worked really well. Kudos to you. The effort was fucking unbelievable too. 3 years.
Yeah.
That takes some serious determination, man, and I'm really proud of you for making it through that kind of arduous task of doing all that. It's amazing. I hope you get that in a lot of other shows, because people need to see it.
Oh, I appreciate that. It's making its rounds so far. I think it's been on
Doing
every
pretty
continent. So
Yeah.
it's getting around. I just had it at Cinematographer in Portugal, and that was really cool. We got to go out
great.
and see the place, so that was neat. But yeah, now speaking about the sound, there's actually a version of this film that's a bit longer. Originally cut everything to these songs that my friend gave me, who also.
Ironically, speaking of sound, we're having a little problem with your sound right now.
Oh, it's the sound gods. They're fucking angry.
Right?
Yeah.
But
so you were
anyway,
saying that, speaking of sound, there was another version of this.
There's a longer version that has none of the audio, because I animated it. It was my first stop motion film, so I over animated things, and then I would cut it to the music that originally the storyboard was all designed off of, and then the sound design came much later as kind of like afterthought, but it I feel that there's a lot of people that love to watch it without any audio because they seem to, I think, get pulled into the weirdness of it a little bit more.
Right.
Or the audio definitely, as much as I love it, I think it kind of sinks you up into this tempo of viewing that maybe pulls you out of the visual interpretations. But thank you.
It's interesting because I didn't necessarily have the same experience Vince had because we talked about this film a little bit. I really appreciated some of the muted tones, and I was just kind of rolling with it. I mean, it's so visually driven, but I was wondering, like, with the impetus of this, like the devil making food out of a baby, like where's this inspiration coming from?
Yes.
Oh,
and do
yeah.
we need to call somebody for you?
It's actually, it's from my own life. I killed my firstborn. No, it's
wow.
I cooked him in a pot with an eyeball.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of our religion, so we had to do it.
Hey, I'm not going to question anyone's religion, no matter what.
I would say, all joking aside, it's a lot of old folklore, old mythology, more fairy tales, really, because fairy tales are kind of the ones that come off as a little playful on the surface and then are a little darker underneath. Or sometimes, the old grim ones, they're pretty just outright dark. But
right.
Yeah, there's the kind of rebirth and seasonal feeling you get of kind of like, when if you farm or if you garden or if you cultivate mushrooms, there's this kind of idea that you're scraping off the fresh babies of the land and, entering the season of death and preparing the what's summer's brought you and fall.
So when you got to, so what, the audio was cutting out just towards the end of what you're saying, but I think we got it.
Yeah.
But I did want to ask, and I don't usually ask a filmmaker what they were trying to do at one point because I like kind of keeping it, but it's just like, just for the hell of it, I'm going to do it anyway. The moment when the dog is drinking and then the different cherubs of horticulture come about his or her head, whatever their head. Yeah. So I really love your lighting and your darkness, but we were like, actually that was one thing that Vince and I were talking about. It's like, what were you going for there? Is it like, because I'll tell you what I thought it was, and you can tell me I'm wrong. It was like the notes hitting the tongue of the dog, like, and he was tasting this cherub and this cherub and this cherub. That's what I saw.
He was tripping on mushrooms is what he was doing.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like both of these interpretations. I don't know. It's really hard to say what exactly is going on there. I mean, I have a whole, I could say pay attention to numbers. There's a theme of 7 throughout the film. 7 apples, 7 spirits, Snow White and the 7 dwarves, 7 layers of the underworld. Things that take place in a lot of shamanic culture, stories that have more of an oral tradition rather than a visual tradition. And I kind of tried to take that way of storytelling and flip it on its head and remove all the language and make it more about the symbols themselves. So that
fascinating.
So like with every fairy tale, you got multiple meanings. There's like layers of things, and there's a simple story in there. And if you really know what you're looking for, there's a lot of different ways you can interpret all those symbols.
Great.
Yeah,
but
great.
To give you a little something to hit they're ethnogenic plants. So each spirit is a different hallucinogenic subspecies.
Okay.
Yeah, and the main little mushroom guy is Amanita mushroom, which is like the famous reindeer mushroom. Alice in Wonderland. We've all seen that one. But yeah, but yeah, I don't want to give away too much because I think there's a lot of. I'm always more interested to see what other people think and what they get out of it, because then I learn something new about it I didn't see.
Yeah,
and this is your first effort too at animation, which phenomenal, just phenomenal.
Thanks.
Did such a great job. I mean, I really cared about the characters a lot, that all that emotion and just how you were working the camera and moving the characters. It was tremendous.
One more question about this for me is that, was this always intended to be told through stop motion? I see that you worked with I've met Ree Crawford before when I've been in the Bay Area several years, and I got an opportunity to have a nice long chat with him on one of our podcasts, and knowing him is kind of how I tuned into your film. But just wondering if this was always intended to be stop motion, or if this was like another avenue of storytelling you were considering.
So the devil character originally was like a little, just kind of a drawing series I was doing about this devil that is trying to do like normal stuff, like looking for jobs on Craigslist and gardening in his backyard, and like kind of doesn't even know who he is anymore. He's a devil, but he's just like, he's senile and forgotten, and now he's like, oh, do I have to work? Like, what's going on?
Right.
But the whole reason I got into stop motion, I'm originally trained in hand-drawn animation and storyboarding, and I kind of wanted to work with friends, wanted to reach out to people like Ree Crawford and David Lauer and Arnie Hain, who conveniently enough, the scene that they animated in the film was the final scene with all the botanical creatures gathered around the dog. And David came up with a color wheel that really expanded and added so much life to those characters. And I didn't give them much direction at all. I was just like, hey, these things need to be above this dog, but whatever they're doing, like, feel the character, have fun with it. And they made something that really just was like the finale for me. And it kind of took all my effort and squeezed it down into one last little micro dose.
Great. The lighting, that color wheel lighting was just, it was great, man. Great.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, so that was the whole thing. I wanted to work with friends, and then I started building this character, and my partner and I started. She's the one who felted them, Sammy Graff. She covered them, and I did the latex and the ball socket armatures underneath. And yeah, just after a while, people started finding out about it, and they were like, "We really like this weird thing you're working on. What is it?" And yeah, it just grew. It became.
So you were using ball and socket for these puppets?
Yeah. There are a few different versions of them, but yeah, I kind of just would buy the kits and then do the metal work and cut them up and get them to the right size I needed. And
just cannibalize them like prefab and just get them to do what you need them to do. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
I still
really well done.
Got this guy. Luckily, I got him right here. So yeah, he's still alive.
Yeah. That's
and that's all needle felted.
Yeah, it's all needle felt except for the hands. The hands and the feet are latex. And yeah, we were really inspired by. Have you ever seen Oh Willie, the short film? It's a stop motion from Emma de Swaff. I want to say she's somewhere out of either Norway or Denmark, but she has a felted film that really inspired us. And we saw that, and we were like, oh, and her film's entirely felted, like all the set pieces, all the everything.
It seems to be a growing trend, but I also see a lot of it on the West Coast too. So I don't know, maybe there's just more production coming from the West Coast there. I don't know, but it's like, I mean, it's great, and the color match is amazing too.
Yeah, the light quality you get with felt is just so much different. It gives it this kind of like Renaissance painting type feel. When you glass light it, it absorbs into it, and that's what we love. And I wanted the film painting, so I was kind of copying his colors and his sets, and awesome. I have to say, as somebody who worked on The Shape of Water, I'm a huge fan of Guillermo del Toro's. He goes the extra mile with mythology and art direction, so it means a lot to be able to hear this from somebody who's buried in that world.
Yeah, I worked with him for years. He's definitely, top of his game right now.
Cool, Brad. Well, thanks for joining us with this. Vince, did you have any other final thoughts, or
just it was a tremendous video, and it'll be on rotation for the rest of my life because it was just so cool. So congratulations. I hope all the best of luck to you and your future stuff.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for the next project.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I'm
forward to it.
working on it now. Hopefully it doesn't take 3 years, but we'll see what happens. This one was supposed to be a year-long project, and life and work got in the way, kind of. But hey, you know what? It's done. That's first baby's out of the womb, made it into tea. Time to make another one.
Yeah,
there you go.
Absolutely, man.
Nice.
You're
All
on
right,
your
Brad.
way.
Thanks a lot.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks a
thank
lot,
you.
buddy.
That was
okay.
Cool. Thanks, Vince. We've got one more short that we're going to end it in. It's a nice upbeat song called A Crazy Life. If you guys want to join us a little bit after this, we're going to have maybe a little bit of a breakout session where we're going to be talking about the run of the films today with our jurors that are still lingering. And maybe if some of the filmmakers are still around as well, they're welcome to chime in. We'll see if there's been any comments about the films that have been in the fest so far that we can bring up and talk about what's in the content. But in the meantime, I will just leave you with this last short, this film called A Crazy Life.
Shout at the stars and dance in the fire. Remember what you told me, it's a crazy life. So when you get tired of losing your mind, remember what you told me, it's a crazy life. Yep. Shit got nuts and you can't deny it. Every stick of dynamite we had to light it. Every sticky situation we would find it. And you're goddamn right we liked it. We never got bored and we never got tired. We never needed anybody else to try it. We never even knew if we would survive it, but we did. And I would rewind it. In case you don't know where you go, I go. Maybe it's psycho. I don't give a flying. Shout at the stars and dance in the fire. Remember what you told me, it's a crazy life. So when you get tired of losing your mind, remember what you told me, it's a crazy life. Boom. Why go big when we could go bigger? Why go gold when we could go glitter? Why be saints when we're such good sinners? Why walk? We could run with scissors. Never held a tongue, but we held our liquor. Never gave a shit, but we gave the finger. Sure, we got bit, but we never got bitter. We thought twice, but reconsidered. In case you don't know where you go, I go. Maybe it's psycho. I don't give a flying. Whoa! Shout at the stars and dance in the fire. Remember what you told me, it's a crazy life. So when you get tired of losing your mind, remember what you told me, it's a crazy life. In case you don't know, I'd walk a tightrope. Maybe I'm psycho. I don't really give a flying fuck. Shout at the stars, dance in the fire. Remember what you told me, it's a crazy life. So when you get tired, of losing your mind, remember what you told me, it's a crazy life. Yes, I do. Shout at the stars and dance in the fire. Remember what you told me, it's a crazy life. So when you get tired of losing your mind, remember what you told me, it's a crazy life. Remember what you told me, it's a crazy life.
Good one.
So thank you guys for joining us with our festival. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. We do have an opportunity to give some feedback and talk about some of the films. I don't know if we can bring up our jurors, Vince, if you're still available. Mike, are you still over there? There's Ray, there's Mike, and here's Wendy. Make sure
hi.
everyone's audio is working. Mike's muted right now.
Testing.
So there we go. Thank you. See, now I'm an expert, you know?
All you have to do is fail once, Dave.
Yeah. If it were only that easy, if it was only once. Yeah.
I love these films. I love these films, David. I mean, I thought this was a great festival. Good job. Good job.
Thanks. I mean,
Yeah.
Ray, you know, I got
Yeah.
a chance to meet you many years ago at the university, and I'm just happy that you've you're such an icon in my mind, and I'm so excited that you are a juror for this festival. It's like your perspective, whether it's in teaching or in this realm, it's exciting to have you here. So you just totally make this such a great experience. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, David. Yeah, thanks. I really enjoyed this a lot. Yeah,
Great.
it's good. Yeah.
I mean, and that goes for, I mean, I've known Mike and Wendy for many years, and Vince for that matter. And it's exciting just to kind of continue just to be passionate about the thing that we're doing and just talk about it and, you know, feed off of each other's neuroses a little bit. But
yeah. The next time, I'm still working on that film that I do those demos on.
Yeah.
Crickets would sing.
Can we talk about that a little bit?
A little bit, sure.
I mean, maybe if we don't want to talk about it now, we could. I've been wanting to pick your brain for a podcast for some time because you're
still working
and also, yeah. But you've been working on a short for some time, and it's about the memoirs of a woman during the Holocaust, and it's called Crickets. Crickets would sing.
Crickets would sing. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's about a girl, 12 or 13 years old, that was entrapped in Auschwitz.
Right.
And it's all stop motion. And right now we're doing a prelude to the actual film. But the person financing the film right now wants to do a 26-minute version of it. We're doing a 2-minute to sell the film.
Sure.
And it's different from the film, from the all the stuff that you've seen at the Academy.
Okay.
This is real. It's all ball and joint, armatured, really good sets that were printed. Printed sets, you know, all the buildings, the bricks.
Yeah.
And I get to light it and shoot it and do MoCo on it and have a good time. It's just really a great project.
Yeah,
Only
that's
work
great.
a couple of days a week because, you know, it's getting everything together, and we're pretty laxed. We're working with an animator called Tim Hiddle, which do you know Tim? Do you know Tim at all?
I've heard of his name. I'm always
I work with him on a lot of the Henry Selick films.
Right.
And he's just a really great animator. Super great animator.
That's exciting.
And it's looking good. You know, hopefully we'll finish it for the coming years. Maybe next year.
Maybe we could feature it on Most Stop Mo one way or another. The one thing I liked about that when working with you and we did a lot of lighting demos with one of the scenes from that short, at least from kind of like the preview for that short, is I like how it just doesn't shy away from the topic. I know Mike's working on a film. Mike and Wendy are both working on a film right now called Milkweed that has a very similar topic. And it's 2D animation, but I mean the vehicle of animation to tell important stories, no matter what it is, I feel like it just makes it more attainable, and it once you put yourself in a almost a different mindset that you're watching animation, not only are you able to say more, it's like you're able to kind of say it more.
You could accept more too.
Right.
You know? Yeah. I agree.
Like in this festival, like some of the things I saw, I just was surprised that it went to that place, but I was like, that's great. Like the feast, I really appreciated a musical in this, and it was just that telling such a kind of a graphic story through simple puppets, but I was feeling everything I would have felt, I think, if it was told, like if it was live acted.
Agreed.
I don't know if you guys.
Oh yeah, in the festival. You're talking about the films in the festival.
Yeah, I was just talking about the one, the feast. Yeah.
It just all looked better tonight for some reason. I don't it just looked really good. You know, I guess it had to do with a lot of the comments. You know, I just really enjoyed the whole experience. It was really nice. Yeah. It's good.
what other films were you guys kind of that stood out to you? Like Wendy, what kind of what other films stood out to you for this fest?
That whole block that was, that ended with Posted No Hunting. That whole
Yes.
block of films, those were among the best. I thought the one with the photographs.
Yeah, that was Tears Dry.
Yeah, that was beautiful, and the musical, The Feast.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. No, are you talking about the one with the slideshow?
No, it
or
was
are you
the
talking?
Tears Dry.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the
Yeah.
pixelation with the couple and that's right.
Yeah, that
was
one and the
beautiful.
other pixelation earlier too. The like Dante's Inferno that was really great too.
I'm trying to think of what. Oh, the act.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it was, right? Yeah, that was done. I think that was done out of Mexico with somebody that you've worked with and I've met before. I actually interviewed her for a podcast that's coming up. Myrini,
She worked on Words.
Yeah, she worked on Words too.
She worked on Words, and she also worked, or maybe she didn't work on it, but she's friends with the people who did the act, the pixelation. But yeah.
Cool.
What other films stood out, Mike, Vince?
I really like that Hypno Studio.
I love that film.
Yeah, I thought that was really good. I mean, I there was just one thing that bothered me about it, and I thought that the song was great and the characters were great and the lighting was great, and as far as production value, that and Old Boys Apples really had that. Also, the paper has a memory. I really liked that one too. I mean, those were my top three. The paper has a memory, the Hypno Tito, and the Old Boys Apples. That Hypno Tito though, the characters were really spot on. I loved the way that they used the fur for the grass and how that was blowing with the animation.
I was just going to say, yeah,
it felt really natural, didn't it?
Yeah, the detail felt really natural. It felt just really good. The lighting was perfect. It was just really nice. It's one of my favorites, I think.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and the paper one, that was great, dude. That freaking paper. Those characters were so cool. The mouth, the way they worked that. It was weird. I didn't really understand what was going on in it, but I didn't care because it was just so freaking cool.
Yeah, it was nice to look at.
Yeah.
It's like transcended storytelling with its style and I mean there's a quirk to it. But yeah, the needle felting, like I said, it seems like there was a lot of entries this year with needle felting, which it's great. That's really cool.
Oh, it works so nicely. I mean, I actually like it a little better than the clay. I mean, I like the clay when it's done real clean and smooth. When you see a lot of the thumbprints and a lot of the breaks in the clay, it kind of takes me out of it a little bit, and that's why I really appreciate the cloth.
I know that like with Aardman, when they were doing clay stuff and they transitioned to silicone, they actually would digitally put in the thumbprints to make it seem still hand done. So it's interesting. It's such a spectrum of people who like will want that or not.
Well, I'm not really talking about, like the more high end sort of stuff. I mean, it's more like when you just see two clumps of clay that are just jammed together and no smoothing is done there, and that sort of thing always breaks my
it's the
brain,
detail. It's the detail in the clay. No, I totally agree with that.
And the cloth gets rid of all that. I mean, Feast, those characters were so simple but so effective, right? I mean, I love that one too. I thought it was a little long, but and it was a little confusing with the way the lighting was and stuff. It kind of, I didn't really know what was going on at certain times, but I really loved the storytelling and how it was like a
to tackle a musical.
It was
an opera, right?
Yeah, it was beautiful that way.
It was an opera,
and all the communication between the characters and the lovely message and all that stuff. It was really, really, really nice. I really like that.
Yeah. Interesting animation. I mean,
You should talk about stop mo, the first one.
Oh yeah, the very
with
first
the-
one. I thought,
because,
which was
like,
a great introduction to the fest.
Yeah, because it's, you know, if my understanding is correctly of it being, you know, the student film where you're supposed to do a walk cycle, and to usually from a teacher's perspective, when someone strays from the assignment, it just drives me crazy. It's just like, just do the assignment and learn from it. But to have it be this entertaining and well done,
Yeah.
you know, just like playing with the sets in the back, like don't play with the sets. Like it
That
wasn't
was
like
good.
an overly articulated character, but like the subtlety of it, and just the general timing and storytelling to make the most out of a simple exercise. And they go, oh yeah, let's just do that. At the end, it became the punchline as well. So definitely a good way to start the film. And just, I don't know, it was just, it was endearing to watch that character.
Yeah, it was good.
Definitely.
It was
Definitely.
good.
Yeah, I like that guy too. I mean, you know, the whole backstage stuff is always good in the Pixar movies, you know, where you get all that kind of communication between the director and the actors, and them having the outtakes and stuff like that. And this kind of felt like that, because, you know, this guy's trying to act and he just can't. And, you know, that's another point I wanted to bring up, is we had a lot of really great voice actors in this show this year. I mean, one of the things that was really great about Squatter was,
I was gonna say Squatter. Yeah,
my
the voices.
God, whoever
yeah,
they
exactly.
got for that guy, that drug dealing
That
hitman
deep
guy,
voice guy, yeah, with the
that
red
guy was
glove.
he was phenomenal. He's like, he could drive a cab, he could,
Yeah, the
you know,
voice
be
was
a
great.
bartender,
Yeah, I agree.
you know,
Yeah.
he could,
But even like conversely, the guy that he was playing against, that medieval dude, was
that
just like that very run of the mill, common, understated voice.
like
was perfect
Fry
to cast.
from what's it called, from Futurama. It's got that
Oh,
kinda
like Fry from Futurama. Yeah,
yeah, kind of that kind of guy that's a young guy that doesn't really know, you know, he's awkward about everything, and just yeah, that was really cool. That the voice acting in a couple of those were really, really good, I thought. You know,
totally agree.
I think the end of the film where he called him the wrong name. You know, he wasn't Bo. It was, I can't remember the name right now.
Yeah.
But that was really, it was comic. It was beautiful. It was really great way to end the film. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That timing was great.
Yeah, that was good.
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys coming out and being a part of this. I don't know if everyone knows who is a part of the festival, but you guys give direct feedback to every film that is submitted, whether it's screened or not. And that's a lot asking from you guys to put out some time, watch through all these films. Some are a little harder to watch than others, and we're not going to name any names, but it's great. I mean, the great thing about it is, if people are putting themselves out there, it's like, there's things to appreciate about all these things. There's fundamentals, there's storytelling. I mean, you could get into the weeds about how much you could give a critique, and that you guys offer this as I think it kind of makes what Most Satmo stand out from other festivals. Like, we're giving feedback from you guys, like you guys have really made your mark in your industry. So thank you very much for doing that and for being a part of this festival.
My pleasure, David. Really, honestly, my pleasure.
Yeah, well, the pleasure's mine. So thank you for doing that. Yeah.
Okay.
What a great experience. I hope this keeps going, because it's a wonderful way to run a festival.
Thanks.
Really
Thanks. And who knows, with the future, we might be able to do this in person on a stage one day. I'm still kind of doing.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Impossible.
Wouldn't it be nice? Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
Don't make me leave my house, Dave.
Well, maybe it'll be at your house. It'll be in your yard. You got a big house. All right.
Cool.
Well, thanks again, guys.
Okay.
I appreciate you, and take care until we see each other again. I'll be following up, but thank you very much for joining us.
It was nice meeting you all. Dave.
Yeah. I also want to give one last shout out before we go.
Mike and Wendy.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to give one last shout out to our man behind the scenes, Edwin Ruiz of Mondo Machine. He's been juggling everything today. He's been a great guy for putting this together. I wouldn't have been able to do a live broadcast at all without Edwin. So Edwin, thank you so much for being behind the scenes and making this run almost as flawlessly as I had anticipated. You were right. He told me, he's like, you just have fun and I'll do the rest. And that's exactly what happened. So thank you.
A great guy. I liked him too. Really nice guy.
Yeah, he's tolerable. All right. Well, with that,
thanks,
guys, Thank you. And with
Take
that,
it
we're going to
easy.
wrap it up. We got some credits for you
Okay.
guys to look at. So
Okay.
enjoy. And thanks again for joining us for the 2021 version of the Most Stop Motion Shorts Festival. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you online.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.